Very good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our introduction to Elite Health and Safety, our brand new supporting solution to help you with all your health and safety needs. We're joined today with the lovely Andrew Blackie, who's going to take us through a little bit of a demonstration of the product, and you will have the opportunity to ask any questions. You've got a little Q&A. You should have a Q&A option at the top of your Teams meeting. So if you've got any questions as we're going along, just pop them in there, and we will get to all of them at the end. But for just now, Andrew, it is over to you.
Thank you very much, Callum. So just to quickly introduce myself, I think is the slide. There we go. Thank you very much. So hi, everyone. I'm Andrew Blackie, Commercial Manager for Elite Dynamics. I've been with Elite now just over 4 years, but most of my life within the holiday park industry. So I'll take you through live demonstration today, as Callum said, 15-20 minutes, and then leave enough time for any questions at the end. Let's go on to the next slide. Lovely. So purpose of today in this webcast is effectively just an overview of our new solution, Elite Health and Safety. And I want to just take you through a little journey with building the template library and the safety inspections, risk assessments and accident reporting, and just give you that overview of what sort of the art of what is possible with Elite Health and Safety and how it can work across all of our sectors, whether that be a marina, a park, a dealer or manufacturer. And this is what this solution is designed to do, to work with anything. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the live demo. Okay, so let me take you sort of through the flow of what we're going to look at today. So the first bit is the app screen. So if some of you are aware of how Elite CRM works or how Elite Apps works, you have multiple apps, just like you would on your iPhone or your mobile device. What I'm demonstrating here is that Elite Health and Safety, which is this app here, can sit alongside your other apps. So whether that be CRM, whether that be customer care, or whether that be Elite Apps, manufacturers, dealers, or whichever it needs to be, it can sit alongside all of those. All I would need to do is go into that app, and this app will work across any device, whether that be a tablet, mobile phone, or on a desktop mode like I'm showing you today. So as an example, this is our reporting dashboard for safety inspections. Now, we'll start here and we'll also end here throughout this live demonstration. The idea is that any of the data, just like you currently do with Elite CRM, for example, you're able to see all of your information live of what's going on across the platform. And you will be able to drill through, report on it for any data that resides within the system. But we'll come back onto that at the end when we've gone through the flow. So the way Elite Health and Safety is structured is it's designed where you can build your own templates for any purpose at all. It can be for a check on a park, a check on a marina, a play area check, an in-depth check, or a daily walk check. There's lots of different areas that you could use your templates for. But let's go through that flow and create one together now so you can see how it works. So the first thing is I'm going to select templates, and then I'm going to go to build a new template. So let's just give this one a name, and I'll give it an example of my daily walk. And then a description, I'll put in here, daily walk for the area. And then I give my template a type. So is this a risk assessment or a safety inspection? So let's give this a safety inspection. And then once I've done that, I just select save. Once I've built my sort of put my core details in for the template, on the right hand side is where I can then start to build my template questions. So if I just go into my questions, I've got different options here. The first thing to point out is I've got this apply to all. Now, what the apply to all means is that if I wanted to update a template that had already been scheduled, then I can apply to all and it will update any template that has been scheduled in the future. So that question will then make a change to those templates that are already scheduled. Or if I leave this untoggled, it'll just affect the current template that I'm building. But let's do an example. Let's go check water tank. And what I'm going to do here as the check water tank is I'm going to choose decimal, because what this allows me to do with the different response types is that, yes, I'm checking is it pass or fail, but I also want to record the reader number as I'm checking this particular area. So I'll go to my response type, select save and close, and then I've built that first template question. I'll do another question, and let's do this one as check sales pontoon. And then do a response type. Again, there's lots of different choices. I'll do this one as a choice type, and then I'll do one more. And then this is check the showground. And I'll do this one as a choice also. So in a very basic way, I've built my template details up here, and I've built my template questions. As mentioned earlier, we've designed this deliberately so it can be self-sufficient. So we have the onboarding time and the delivery time where we can get you all set up and ready to go. But the idea is that you'll be able to utilize this for anything within any sort of area or park or manufacturer or marina, whatever it may be, you can utilize this for, but be more self-sufficient on it. So once I've put the template together, I then set my recurrence, my start date, and my number of occurrences that I want to run. So the first thing I'll do is, let's say this is a daily walk that I want to do. I want the start date to be Monday the 27th, and I want it to run for 7 days. The location, all of this is configurable, and I'll show you this in settings shortly, but you are able to put whether it's a park location, a showground, a dealership, any location in the world that you want. Also, what's important with this is because it's designed to integrate with any one of our solutions, you're able to add this location field to your park table, for example, or to an account table. So it can interchange with whatever interface you want it to be plugged into. So let's just say this is park location 2, and I want to assign a resource at the point in time of scheduling. So I'm going to add a resource in there as well. Once I've done that, I'm on my template still now. I just save, and then I go to set schedule inspections. Once I schedule the inspections, that will then go away and schedule all of those daily inspections for me into my area, giving it as a day by day over 7 days. So let's just come into here, and that should now start to schedule my inspections for me. We just press that again. I'm just going to refresh. Joys of a live demo. So let's just go to actions, schedule inspections. There we go. I didn't get that box pop up before. Press OK. What that will do now is go and schedule those inspections over 7 days for me. So if I come into here, I then will see 7 inspections come into play. There we go. So the system will now use that workflow and start scheduling them all for me. So I can see I've got a due date of the 27th. And it'll just keep running and then do all of them. Now, I can do as many as I need to, whether that be 20, 30, but the idea is it's designed to reset itself. So if I just refresh, it's still running at the moment, but once it's complete, it resets this and allows me to constantly use the template whenever I need to then do the next schedule of safety inspections. So if I just go into one of these inspections, for example, let's just drill into this one. So once the safety inspections have been scheduled, you will then have your safety inspection ready to go, the due date that it needs to be done on, and the questions that need to be answered as part of this check. But also, because I've scheduled this to a particular owner, if I go into safety inspections, the main area, and imagine this sort of on your mobile phone as you're running through your sort of menu bars, you're able to then come into here. I could have a view for one of my engineers called My Safety Inspections. And on those safety inspections, it'll give me all of the inspections that have been created for me on that particular day. So I can see here I've got my daily walk in this one. So I'd be able to go into there and I would be able to see it. What's important to note here as well is the ability to do automation. And this is where with Elite CRM that it would be connected to is sort of the biggest element to it really, because you can utilize push notifications where it can send an alert to a mobile device that a check is coming up or needs to be done. There can be an email that goes out before the due date, on the due date and after the due date to remind them that this safety check needs to be undertaken. And the same goes for any defects or failures. It's all about the automation with this platform, and it's sort of endless of how far you can take it. So if there is a certain check that's been logged as a failure, well, let's notify the health and safety manager and send an email straight away, or a flag or a notification, or even just a notification within the reporting area. So on the safety inspection, we've drilled into it. I've got my one here for my due date. We can set the automation and the push notifications. But what I can do here now is go through my individual inspections. There's multiple ways you can do this, and it's designed to sort of work, as I say, on any device. So you can go through each one and complete the details, or in this example, you can go through your checks, choose which one has got a defect on. So let's just say the water tank, this was a pass. So if I drill into here, I'm able to put in the water tank reading. I can then go to actions and then pass this particular one. Once I've done that, I can go back and then I can continue working on my other ones that are, so this one is a pass. If I had a failure, again, I can drill into this. I've got a response type of choice where I can set, this is just as an example, but I can set different types of choices up there that works alongside this particular check. But what I have the ability to do here is set my defects as well. So if the showground that is being checked has failed, I can click on here, I can add the defect. So let's just say there's a dangerous situation, it's major. What am I checking the showground? So caravan come off its blocks, for example. Follow-up action required, and Fred needs to look at this now. And then I can assign it to an individual and then save and close. But again, with automation, this, because based on the severity, with it being critical or major, can send a push notification directly to the owner that you've set this defect to. So it's action straight away, but there's no paper, everything's digital, and we can utilize that to notify the team members what's going on. So I can set that, save and close. I've logged my defect in onto this particular check. I've got the ability to add any pictures or comments on this particular check as well on the showground if I want to go into more detail. But I'm going to mark this one as a fail. I've got the ability to put in some more comments. Overall defects failed, and then submit. So this will put this now in a failed state. So if I just go back to my overall check, I can see I've got one pass, one fail, one open. Now, just let's say I've got 20 of these different checks to do. I can do exactly what I've done here is I've done my pass, like my water tank check where I want to put a reading in. I've done my failures where I've spotted my defects, and then I might have several that are open. I've checked them and they're all okay. You can go to the ribbon at the top and then settle open checks as pass. And then what that'll do is save you drilling into each one. They've been visually checked. And this is just one way that it can be achieved. But you can then run through them all and set them all as pass. And then the system will run through it and pass all of the open checks for you, just like that. Once that's done, again, on your device or on the browser like I am now, you will be able to sign it, confirm, and then go to actions and complete safety inspection at the top. And that would work with, with your finger on your mobile phone or, like a stylus pen, anything like that you would be able to do. So that safety inspection is complete. Now, that will also in turn update the reporting area on the dashboards, but it will also and can also update various departments. So based on that being completed and I've got a failure, that can update the health and safety manager to say, on this particular daily walk, we've had an issue that needs addressing. So that's the sort of the flow, if you like, of the setting up a template, adding your questions, and then the ability then to manage your safety inspections, whether they're assigned to an individual user, they could be assigned to a team, and where they will show up in the appropriate places. You will also see at the bottom number of days overdue. So the system will always flag this. So again, in the reporting area, you're able to see when they're due, how many days until they're due, and of course when they're overdue, and the notifications that need to be had with that particular one as well. In the outcome area, this will also tally up everything to do within the safety inspection. So the number of checks, when it was passed, when it was failed, and the number of defects. So this will always count up that for you. And in turn, this will update the reporting area. So if I just navigate back to the reporting area and go down to this chart here, this is what this chart is looking at, is the outcome area. So the sum of how many's passed, how many's failed, and how many defects I've got currently out there, and what needs to be done to rectify them. So it's all based on the reporting side. So what I'll do now, if I just go back to my template, I'm just going to show you on here. So on the template itself, it will also show you your last check date. So you'll be able to see on this particular template, again, the ability to report on it as well, but be able to see when it was last checked or when it was last used, before you go ahead and schedule the next sort of set of safety inspections. So just want to, so that's the safety inspection side. I just wanted to then sort of go through the risk assessment and accident reports with you, and just give you a quick example of how those work as well. So if I just select new, I'm just going to call this a, let's do site in a caravan. So we've added that into the description. I'll put my type as risk assessment this time, and then I'll save. I can use my template questions as I did before. So I could say, move in the caravan, is it safe? I'll do the response type. I want single line of text. I want somebody to put a description in there for me. And I'll do another one of, is the caravan level? Spell it correctly. So is the caravan level? And again, I want that as a choice, and then save and close. So I've put in my template questions. Once I've done that, just like in the safety inspection, I can then do a recurrence. And on this one, I'm just going to say I want to do it as a one-off. So I'll set that as an occurrence of 1. I use my location and, of course, my resource. And then I can save. So I've now set up my template for site in a caravan. So at this moment in time, I'm only scheduling 1. But again, the system gives you the ability to come back over and over again and keep scheduling as and when you need these particular templates setting up. So once that runs through its schedule, it will then produce me a risk assessment like this. And I can see my due date is the 22nd because I only did 1 occurrence. And let's just then have a look into this risk assessment. Again, if I assign a user to it, this will show up in their area, and it could be their dashboard, number of risk assessments need doing today, number of safety inspections that need doing today. So they get that visual in the dashboard as well. So if I go into this risk assessment, I've got my details filled in. I can enter in here when I'm starting the risk assessment, and I've got the ability to add into my hazards as well. So I could say, what are the hazards for site in the caravan? Adverse weather. I've got an ability to put any description. Who is at risk or injury? I could say the public and the operative and other. Likelihood of injury, it's likely. Severity is major. And what control measures do I have in place? So I can select all the control measures and then save and close. Again, and just going sort of my time back onto a park, and the amount of paperwork that is involved with doing risk assessments and daily walks and things like that, it can get quite phenomenal. And the idea is this is all designed to be digital on any device that you can work with. So you can add your hazards in for all of your different areas, and then you can complete the risk assessment. So if I just put general manager here, any follow-up notes that need to be logged, you can then put your signature in and confirm that this risk assessment has then been undertaken, and then complete the risk assessment. And that will then close the record down as completed. You do have a unique number on every record that's been generated, but you can then see how you can build the risk assessment. Now, with the system, there is always the ability to do Word templates and PDF templates, so you can print off this information as well if you needed to have some hard copy files, or if you needed to send it on to other areas, that's also possible. So that's with your risk assessments and how you can set up, again, any risk assessment, whether they're scheduled to be done weekly, 6 monthly, annually, or they're just one-off risk assessments for a specific job. I'll briefly show you accident reporting. So again, and this can be controlled by permission. So not everybody, might not have access to fill out an accident report, or everybody within the group can. All permissions can be set for each individual area. So let's just do a new accident report for an example. So I'll just put a reference number on here, what type it was. So let's just say this is an injury to contractor, the location it happened, sublocation type, is it external or internal? Sublocation, let's choose accommodation. I've got the ability to write in there the specific location, and then like a standard accident report, so I can fill in all of my details. What was the date and time that this accident happened? What were the lighting conditions, weather conditions, and the severity of the accident? So I can put major in there. Once I've done that, I've got the ability to set whether witness statements were taken, photos were taken, and any CCTV details. Once I've saved it, I can then put my specific injury details in as well. So what was the injury type? And again, all of this is configurable by you. This isn't set as default by the system, so you can add as many different types in here as you need to. But let's just say it was a bruise. I can give more detail on the injury description, the cause of the injury, area of the body that it happened, was first aid given and who gave it, first aid qualified, and the description. I can also say, was there any follow-up? So was emergency services called? And I can log that into here as well. Any hospital treatment given, and the hospital name. Again, every bit of data that I'm entering in here gives the ability for automation. So for example, the minute that I log in here that an ambulance was called, that can trigger an email to a manager, a health and safety officer, whoever it may be. They can all be notified the moment that something is sort of severe that would need to notify others. So I can put my injuries in there. I've got the ability to add in any witness statements, and just to quickly show you that, I can full name, email address, mobile, statement, and their signature as well. Again, designed to be all fully digital. So I can say reported by, I'll put GM, and who did I report it to? I can say here, I've reported it to RIDOR. Again, there's the ability to auto email RIDOR with a connection if you wanted to, once you've built that report and the automation that needs to be in place. Any additional information, and then of course at the end you can sign it and save on that document. So it's all very easy to log information and notify all relevant members as you need to. The final bit then, so that's just on action. I'm conscious of the time, we've got 5 minutes left, but that's the idea with accident reports, your risk assessments and safety inspections, the ability to add as many templates as you need and to be as flexible and fluid as you need. But if I just go back to reporting, all of that information pulls on your dashboard. As part of the process, we'll train you on how to build your own dashboards as well and your own charts. And if you've already got skills utilized with Elite CRM or Elite Dealers or any one of our other products that utilizes the Dynamics 365 platform, you can use those same skills in here to build your dashboards and charts, and also again can output to Power BI. But I've got my safety inspection dashboard here and also my accident report dashboard as well. That's given me all of the information I need at a glance, whether an actual operative on the ground or a manager that's keeping an eye on it on a day-to-day basis. If I just quickly show you, in this one here is showing me a safety inspections by location. I can drill through to those records. I can click on this slice and I would be able to then drill down And if I choose what safety inspections are on location 1, and then that will then drill down for me, I can select any one of these, evacuation drill record, and get to the record I need just by drilling through the data very quickly. And that, guys, is Elite Health and Safety. Thank you very much. I'll hand back over to Cal and see if we've got any questions.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
No problem at all.
We don't have any questions that have come in at the minute. However, I tell a lie, one has just come in right now. Right. So we've got a question that in the event of a complaint or claim, would evidence be able to be generated on historic accidents, checks, or compliance?
Absolutely, yeah. So using the right tool, so whether that, for example, you've got a tool called Document Corpac who can generate a, almost like a complete PDF document that could be based on that one individual record. You can output to Word, but you can also, in a sort of a document, you would be able to list and say, right, these are all the details, these are the safety inspections or the accident information that happened, these are the photographs that were taken. Now, it wouldn't display the photograph in the document, but explain the images and the date and timestamps on the actual output document that you would need. But there's multiple ways you could achieve it, but the short answer is yes.
And I'm assuming then if we were looking at most of our customers perhaps will have some form of health and safety situation going on at the minute.
Yeah.
Are we able to bring in historic data so that we're not getting any loss of information on the way?
Yeah, great question. But yeah, absolutely. So just like any of our solutions, really, you just work with the project team when we implement it, and as always, we will supply you with the templates for the importing of the data. But we'll also do a bit of a discovery with you to find out how much historical data there is, so we can make sure it's all imported into the right place and set the right status.
And if we're looking at implementation time, how long roughly? We know there's loads of different bits that'll come into that, but roughly how long are we looking for to implement Elite Health and Safety?
Yeah, of course. So it's depending on your requirements, really. So the first part is that requirements gathering and what exactly it is you're looking to do. Is it a start afresh, or is it to replace a system you've currently got? So our advice at the moment is it could be anything from sort of 2 to 3 to 5 days, depending on your requirements, whether that's data to be imported, you want to set up push notifications, what automation is required, and more importantly, what system you want it to work alongside. So for example, if you want it to work alongside Elite Apps, then there'll be a slight bit of configuration that will work into that sort of 3 to 5 day implementation to make sure it fits with, as I say, all of our sectors, whether that's going into the Marina app or going into the dealer or the park app, so we can make it fit for your for the data for you.
Perfect. Well, we are conscious of time. We've just hit 1:30 on the dot. If you are interested in taking on Elite Health and Safety, we are going to notify your account managers that you are here today listening in and enjoying. If you can't wait for your account manager, you can, of course, contact them directly. There we go. Look at that, smooth. You can contact them and you can organise getting going with Elite Health and Safety. In the next couple of weeks, we've got some more webinars coming. Next Wednesday, the 29th at 5 p.m. It's a little bit later in the day, but it is one of our partners, Dynaway, are going to be hosting a webcast next week. And Dynaway, if anyone doesn't know, is asset management. So they'll be looking at lengthening the time of your assets and how to maintain what you've got. And the week after, 5th of June, we'll be back to our normal time at 11 o'clock in the morning with Andrew again, and this time we'll be looking at Elite Insights, which is our industry aggregator. So you'll be able to compare your data against everybody else in the industry as well, which is quite exciting. So make sure that you look out for the details of those coming along in your inbox. But for just now, we are going to finish off for the day. Thank you again for taking time to join us today, and we will see you all next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Take care.